What's up, Warrior Nation? Welcome back to the Warrior Rewind, where we take time to visit with members of the Valley Chrsitian Athletics community, past and present. Once a Warrior, always a Warrior. This is your host, Rob Fair, class of '09, Valley Chrsitian Assistant Athletic Director, and Warrior football and lacrosse coach. This podcast is now available on Spotify and Anchor.fm, should be on Apple Podcasts shortly, and will continue to be available on YouTube as well. It's our hope that this series will not only provide a special opportunity to strengthen the Warrior community, but that we may also offer distinctive insight into the unique backgrounds of the Warriors we'll be spending time with. Let's get to it. Today's guest is a very popular face throughout the Valley Chrsitian community. Chana'e Jones, Valley Chrsitian class of 2007, spent a lot of time on the soccer and softball fields during her tenure in a Warrior uniform. At VC, Chana'e received multiple all-league and section honors in both softball and soccer, was a member of the 2006 CCS championship-winning girls soccer team, and was selected as her class's Female Athlete of the Year every year. That's 4 years in a row. Chana'e then went on to accept a scholarship to play softball at the University of Oklahoma, where for 3 years she garnered all Big 12 honors and made an appearance in the 2011 Women's College World Series. After college, Chana'e returned to the Skyway campus for a while, where she spent time as a physical education teacher and as a crucial member of our HPC staff. Today, Chana'e is now back in Oklahoma, where she teaches at Mustang Central Middle School and coaches softball, basketball, and track. Chana'e, thanks for being on the Warrior Rewind.
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me. I'm very honored and humbled that you reached out to me to do this. I'm super excited.
Chana'e, how is life? What's shelter in place like right now in the state of Oklahoma?
Well, we are more lenient than you guys out in California right now. My school shut down for the year. But I know you guys are like on straight lockdown. I know Oklahoma is getting towards that eventually, but right now it's basically people are just making the decision to stay at home. Only go get groceries if you need to. A lot of places are closed down. A lot of my favorite stores I can't go to right now. But it's pretty extreme out here. But it's not like the rules or the laws are not as strict as you guys are in California. And hearing from my family out there how strict it is with the elderly and all that stuff like that. But it's headed that way. Yeah. They said Oklahoma is going to be one of the worst states eventually when this is all said and done. So for me, I'm just personally, I stay at home all day. My school's closed. Anyhow, I go to the grocery store, might go for a run outside. But it's more people are deciding for like what's best for their family. So that's kind of where we're at in Oklahoma.
Gotcha. Yeah, for us, but all restaurants are closed, of course, and except for takeout. So yeah. DoorDash has been a huge savior for my wife and I.
Same.
On the Warrior Rewind, our first question is always going to be, what does being a warrior mean to you?
That's a very strong word. It's a word that I still use with my athletes that I coach and work with. But for me, I would say my definition of a warrior is someone that's very strong, doesn't give up easily. Even during adversity, that person, he or she just strives to be better, to get better, and understand things aren't always going to be easy. But a warrior is someone that just continues to go and punch that wall down, even, if there's something that's holding them back, whether it's mentally, physically, another person, whatever it is. A warrior is just someone that's all in all does not give up easily.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite memory from your time at Valley Chrsitian?
Ooh, there were quite a few actually. I can go on for days. I don't really have one specific. I would just say being in the athletics program. I was new to Valley Chrsitian my freshman year, so I wasn't sure, kind of what to expect. And once I started playing sports, it really helped, you make new friends, you kind of figure out the ins and outs of the school. But I would say my favorite memory would probably just being on, the soccer field, the softball field, basketball for, 1 year as a freshman, but just the relationships that I've created there and I still have today, even though I'm old now.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're old, then I'm old. So we're not yet. Chana'e, Valley Christian, our motto is that we're always on this quest for excellence. How would you define excellence?
I would say excellence, in one word, means greatness to me. This is another kind of, form of, how I work with my kids. I ask them, do you want to be good or great? And I think that correlates with quest for excellence is, as a Valley Christian alum, you constantly hear that word quest for excellence, quest for excellence. So as a student, we're striving to reach that goal. We're striving to get those A's. We're striving, to get to college. And as an athlete, the same thing. We're striving to get that scholarship on the, on the softball field, wherever, football field, whatever it is. But we're constantly trying to be, great. So I have kids, I ask them, do you want to be good or great? You want to be great? All right, we're going to strive to get there. Or you're going to go through that quest to get to that excellence. That's kind of the way I see it.
Either as a player thinking back to when you played, or as a coach looking at your players, are there specific actions or behaviors that athletes should partake in to exemplify that greatness that you talk about, the excellence on the field, on the court? What kind of actions, what kind of behaviors qualify as excellent?
First and foremost, being a good teammate. That is considered, excellence. Yeah, you may be the best athlete on the team, but if you're not a good teammate, then I think everything else kind of washes away. Another form can be being in the weight room constantly, doing, showing your teammates that you are trying to, be great. So there's a lot of stuff, but I would say, physically and mentally, just showing people that you're bought in. That's another word that I use, is bought in. Is, you want to be great, you have to buy into the system. But all in all, be a good person, be a good teammate to not only your teammates, but your coaches as well.
For sure. You have a pretty extensive sports background. You've been involved, high school, multi-sport athlete. You've played at the Division I level at Oklahoma. Now you've coached, and you've coached in 2 different states. You've coached several sports. You've been kind of the strength and conditioning trainer as well. So sport is certainly really firmly integrated into your life. However, we're at a time right now in the world where, we can't be in large groups. We're not supposed to be on a field participating in team activities. Our spring sports seasons have been postponed. And so we're at a point now where a lot of the sport lifestyle that we're used to has kind of gone away, or it's been put on hold for a time being. So it brings me to the question, what would you do if sports went away entirely? In other words, if you weren't a player or a coach or a trainer or a teacher, where do you think your skills and abilities would have taken you?
There's a couple things that I could definitely see myself doing. But if I didn't play sports, and, obviously I'd want to go to, college, just kind of seeing like what's going on in the society today with the coronavirus, is I definitely would want to go into the medical field, and be a pediatrician of some sort, still get to work with kids. That's still my overall joy, is working with kids. But it's what these, doctors and nurses are doing right now. It's unbelievable. So I think, to be able to still, work with kids, I would, if I didn't play any sports, I would, consider, going into the medical field as a pediatrician or even a nurse or some sort of of that type of doctor.
For sure. That's super cool. Now, obviously sports is a big part of your life. And so back to that piece of it, what is one thing that sport has taught you or has done for your life, has put you in a position? What's one thing that sport has done for your life that most people wouldn't expect?
That's kind of a tough question. I say tough meaning, it's kind of broad for me. And I mean, because sports have done a lot for me personally. But I was, when I was thinking about this question, one thing growing up, I played, travel ball and, of all sports. And, I had great coaching at a young age. But what my generation didn't really have were a lot of private instructor coach one-on-one time. And looking back, I think that would have helped me as a player. So that's kind of, why I do what I do now is I don't even coach travel ball, softball. I do private lessons. I'm able to, get that one-on-one time with these athletes and, be a mentor. They're able to text me on the side, hey, I'm going through this problem. Can you help me with this? Or I'm struggling with school. And, I didn't have that one. I mean, I had, again, don't get me wrong, I had great coaches, but that kind of, one-on-one person, I really didn't have that. So that's, like I said, kind of why I do what I do now is because, I want these kids to be able to strive better and stay focused. Granted, we didn't really have social media much back in the day, how these kids do now. So they kind of need someone to kick them in the rear a little bit when they're, getting out of line. So that's kind of what sports did for me, was realizing that I do want to give back to the youth.
As a personal trainer, that one-on-one type of relationships that you have, what advice do you have right now for your athletes who are at home, who don't get to show up and train with you? Maybe you're working with them virtually, but if you had a blanket piece of advice for kids who are at home, maybe it's softball players, but maybe it's any sport. What advice do you have for those athletes who aren't able to go out and put the work in a group setting or even in a one-on-one type of setting?
I would tell them, a lot of people, they think they have to go and spend all this money on equipment and whatnot. That's not true. There's nothing wrong with body weight stuff. Right now, personally, I'm doing home workouts. There's, I'm looking at, I'm even looking at Coach Tav's workouts on, the VC, the HPC or Twitter and all that good stuff. So there's always stuff you can do at home. You can do squats, you can do lunges, you can do push-ups, you can do the basic stuff. So again, I know times right now are crazy. They're hard for a lot of people, but being active, it's okay to still be active. It's okay to go out for a quick little walk and come back and do some push-ups, but just continue to, remember your ultimate goal as an athlete. Okay. I know, you can't be with your teams right now, but you can still find, I should say have that drive to want to be that great athlete that I know all of these kids want to be. So just continue to find your niche at home. Again, YouTube's a big thing. Like I said, Coach Taff, I see is posting stuff, for people. So definitely find your passion in home workouts. It's not for everyone, but there is something for someone to choose from out there.
For sure. One of my favorite questions to ask people, it's always a fun one, hopefully a little thought-provoking. If you could spend 1 hour with 3 people, dead or alive, 3 different people, 1 hour with each of those people, so 3 total hours, who would those 3 people be, and why would you choose them?
I could have picked like 10 people, but I literally listed 10 names. But I'll pick, 3, and then I'll give you, kind of tell you the reasons why. The first one would probably be Serena Williams. She's just, being a female athlete, she's just a beast. She's a very rare athlete. So I would just like to pick her brain and kind of see what makes her great. So she's definitely right off the bat, she's the first person I'd want to sit down with and talk. The next person is Ken Griffey Jr. Growing up, my favorite baseball player. I emulated my swing off him for a long time. He was just, my brother introduced me to him when I was young, and I just fell in love with how he played, his kind of swagger on the field. So he's definitely, and again, just someone to pick his brain and kind of just, he was great, and just kind of see, kind of like where he's at now, and kind of just, again, it's just getting to know these. It would be cool to get to know these professional athletes on a personal level to get that one-on-one kind of experience. And then the last one I would say would be The Rock.
Okay.
The reason why is, I like to work out. He likes to work out, and I just want to, steal all his stuff and get all his input on different workouts he does. I know he eats like crazy, and I'd like to see him eat a meal,
Yeah.
just again, it's all about picking these individuals' brains on a personal level. And so, like I said, The Rock, it would be a field day for me. I'd have a notebook writing down everything he says about what you eat, what you don't eat, different lifts. So those are kind of my three. Like I said, I can name at least 10 of them, but those are kind of be my three celebs that I would want to meet.
Very cool. Very well chosen. All right. So we kind of get to our last series of questions here that I think is the best way to end the interview. And that is, if you could go back to your early days in high school, your freshman, sophomore year, you're just starting out your athletic career as a Warrior, what advice would you go back to that Chana'e, and what would you tell yourself?
I would say to kind of be a little bit more outgoing. I went into freshman year, again, not knowing many people, and believe it or not, I am a shy person. People laugh all the time when I tell them I'm shy, because most people know me as outgoing, but I do kind of have a shy side, and I wish I would have kind of just opened up to like met different people, and not kind of stay to my little crew of people that I had. But just kind of, don't be afraid to break out of your shell, whether you're in a new environment or not. One thing I wish I would have had that kind of that mentality is, you know what, I'm at a new school, so what? You know what, this is high school. You know what, I'm going to be confident, because I did lack a little bit of confidence at first. So I would just tell myself just to be more confident in everything, not just on the court, in the classroom, everywhere. Just, going up and introducing myself to other kids, maybe just little stuff like that. That's something I would tell myself as a freshman and sophomore. As a junior or senior, I would, maybe tell myself to turn it on even more. And what I mean by that is knowing, because I verbaled to OU when I was a junior, knowing where I was going, where I was headed, I wish I would have kind of turned that motor on even more. I think sports came naturally to me. It's sports, like I said, it's always been pretty easy. But when you get to that next level in college, it's a different animal. You have kids that are same as you, if not better than you. And so I wish, looking back, I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but I really wish I would have turned that motor on right from like as a freshman, and really got into that weight room, constantly doing the little things. So when I got to college, my freshman year, I was immediately ready to get onto that field. So that's kind of what I would, if I can go back, those are a couple things that I would do differently.
For sure. That's super awesome. And I know that the younger Warriors who are listening to this hopefully can take that advice and apply it to their own athletic careers. Chana'e, if our listeners want to get in touch with you via social media, is there anywhere they should go, or maybe share some of your social media information?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure most of these young ones don't have Facebook, but I have Facebook. But my other main account I use all the time is Instagram. So it's just my name, CHANAE_JONES. Go ahead. I pretty much accept most friend requests. So if you want to follow me, and I'll follow you back, please do so. You can send me a DM, and say what's going on, coach, or whatever it is. I do miss my Valley Christian kids. I know a couple of them still keep in touch with me, which is awesome. So, but yeah, hit me up on Instagram, and I have Snapchat too. You can find me there, but I prefer Instagram.
Do you have, is there somewhere that athletes, maybe softball players in particular, that they can go to see some of your private training stuff on Instagram?
Yeah. So I actually just started, now that we're quarantined. I'm with a company called Be Complete Athletics, and it's a facility in Oklahoma City. And we just created me an account. And that is Be Complete Athletics _Chana'e. So that I just started that. So I need some more followers. I post, it's nothing but softball drills. Right now I'm doing virtual softball lessons. So if you're interested in that, hit me up and I can give you details for that. But yeah, those are my two main accounts. So go ahead and follow me, send me a DM, whatever you need. I'm still here for you guys, even though I'm all the way in Oklahoma.
Awesome. Chana'e, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing a part of your day today to relive some of your moments as a warrior, to share some advice for the warrior community. We appreciate you. We love you. And have a great Good Friday.
All right. Thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it.